So, like an idiot, yeah, here's where I need to go. For some reason, that was not obvious to me in the last video, but when I was editing and rendering the video for the upload, suddenly I discovered that suspicious looking doorway. And I went, that's where I gotta go now. Ah, crap, there's a screen. Are we being attacked by pirates? Is Prince L or Ellie being kidnapped by mercenaries? It's a ghost. And she's knocked unconscious. The ship goes drain vitality, okay, that was a failure and a half. Stop that. This a boss or something? Like there's 3 of them. That was a fake. That was a fake. That one's real. 3 fakes and a real one, okay. How do I know which one is real, or do I just sort of attack them all and guess? I'm assuming I just sort of attack them all and take a wild guess. That was a fake. That one was real. Well, I guess so much for that being right. That was surprisingly simple. Are you gonna speak to me now that I saved you from the ghost? I'll take that as a yes. Yeah, you're the one who was mute and nothing to gain by being with you. Why do I detect there's going to be a romantic relationship here? I'm just gonna tell the truth. Yeah, you look a lot like a person I know, but bear in mind I'm from the underworld. I'm from hell. I guess, I don't know. Am I from hell? Or is the underworld just that an underworld that's not hell? Just, I don't know. Well, she wasn't speaking, and you know, you gotta bear in mind she was kidnapped by the king who slaughtered her entire village. So, just saying. Look displeased, I look like your friend, well, I don't know. Like, I've run into people who've looked like similar, like close to people. I know, but I knew it wasn't them because, you know, they looked either too old or too young or, you know, something was just not right, but there was a. They looked similar but not identical. No doorways that way, so I guess I don't talk to her. I guess I go back to bed. Wait a minute. There's something over here. Ooh, treasure chest. But I've already bought everything. What's my health at? Yeah, definitely not enough to, excuse me, but that felt good. Waste a large bulb. Yeah, I just had a bit of crafted snooze whiskey, which is tobacco, not whiskey, for those of you who don't watch my Let's Try playlists. And sometimes the nicotine can give me a bit of gas. And the hiccups. Land! I see land! Is it? You know, I'm so used to the, mapping. Also, there's a port. I am pretty sure when Columbus found America, or when the Europeans found America, there were no ports. Why would there be ports? Natives in North America do not have that kind of ship travel. Even when the Vikings discovered, what was it, Canada? Newfoundland, the eastern seaboard of Canada, which is the country I live in and was born in. Pretty sure they didn't build ports. I mean, I read a book by Farley Mowat about the Vikings discovering Canada, but while Farley Mowat is good in overall historical accuracy, he also writes to entertain, so I mean, maybe he's a reliable source of information, but I would have to say overall, no. I did read a book by him about the Vikings discovering North America. Got it at a library in Stony Creek, which is a really good library. The library closest to me, the Kenilworth branch in Hamilton, is a small library, but it's got, I actually believe it has at least 3 floors. A main floor, a second floor, and I believe it has a basement. Though I confess I've never been to the basement. I've only been on the main floor, which is where there are computers and printers. In fact, I just came back there, but I was there not that long before I decided to record this video. But, I was there to print off some government medical paperwork I need to, take care of to get my driver's license back again, because for some reason the Ontario government, despite me not driving in not decades, but close to half a decade, the government of Ontario has decided that my type 1 diabetes is for some reason risky and they want to take away my license. So I have to go to my family doctor and bring with some, not a transcript, but a logbook of my blood readings, and probably need to fill out some blood work and then pay $50 for them to do the paperwork. And then go and have that done, and maybe I'll get my license back again, maybe I won't. I don't know. What I do know is that it is complete and utter bullshit, because my diabetes is overall fine. Like, don't get me wrong, I have the occasional mishap, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, it is very under control. In fact, I will dare say that it is significantly more under control since I haven't been driving than it was since I was driving. The only difference is when I was driving, because I was so morbidly obese, my blood sugars were very high. And the Ontario government doesn't care if your blood sugars are high unless, you know, you lose a foot to gangrene, or, which can happen, or you start going blind, which can also happen. There is optical issues with diabetes, and it's why, in Ontario anyways, I don't know about the rest of the Canadian provinces and territories, but in Ontario, like, over, well, would have been over a decade and a half ago, 15 years ago, over 15 years ago, the Ontario provincial government decided that, optometry, eyeglass appointments, and the like will no longer be covered under the Ontario Provincial Health Plan. Because I'm a type 1 diabetic, though, my optometry is covered under the provincial plan. Which, I mean, is good for me because I need glasses, but I think it's kind of horse shit that the Ontario government decided, you know what? Yeah, being able to see, yeah, that's not a concerning medical issue that's going to be covered under us anymore. Now, I think it was a conservative government was in power that came to happen, but that was over 15 years ago, and since then we've had liberals in power, and the liberals decided, you know what? we're not going to bother changing back to the old ways. We're going to keep it so that optometry is still no longer covered. So don't blame the conservatives because liberals didn't do a damn thing to change it either. Right now we have a conservative in power, Doug Ford, who I must confess is doing extremely well during the COVID pandemic, but I mean during the provincial election it was even worse for me than the federal one because I did not like any of the potential premiers running for office, so I went down to the polling booth, to the voting booth, and went spoiled my ballot. Pretty much said, I'm not voting for anybody. They're all incompetent. And I am still glad I did that because despite Doug Ford's issues, and he has a lot, I didn't want the Liberals in charge either. I didn't want the NDP in charge. The Green Party, to me, will always be a joke. The Green Party at least needs to change their name to be taken as a serious political contender because the problem is it's the Green Party. People hear green, they think environmental issue. Well, there's a lot more to politics than just environmental issues. So naming your party green after the environmental issue, people are just going to automatically assume that your entire party is just devoted to the environmental movement. And that's basically political suicide for any political party or any political candidate. Don't remember if I talked to this person or not. Think I did though. But yeah. And the NDP was a joke as well, but I mean, the NDP is pretty much the Liberal Party for people who think the Liberals are too conservative. And here's the thing, like, when it comes to where I stand in the political spectrum, like, I'm a moderate. There are some things I lean a little more left on. There are some things I lean a little more right on. And despite me being an atheist and people assuming I am a liberal, I actually lean ever so slightly more to the right overall. I mean, I'm by no means a full-blown conservative, but I'm definitely not a liberal either. And I voted back when I was first able to vote and decided that I was going to vote for somebody. Like, I voted for all the major parties at least once. I voted Liberal, I voted Conservative, I've even voted NDP. Now, right now, I am just sick and tired of being a pawn in a game where the people playing me know I'm a pawn and view me as a pawn and therefore view me as disposable. So I'm tired of playing the game by their rules, and I'm just going to be going until someone comes around who I at least believe is competent to run whether it be the mayor of the town or the municipality or be the premier of Ontario or prime minister of Canada. Until one comes around who I believe is competent enough to do that, I'm not voting for anyone. I don't care if there's a great evil that is absolutely terrifying if he gets in office. I'm not voting for a lesser evil to keep a greater evil out. I'm done playing this game. And just so people are aware, when I do not vote, oh yeah, I guess that's what you're about. But when I do not vote, I don't stay at home and just do nothing during the voting day. I actually vote early. I go and I spoil my ballot. And I do it for two reasons. One, those who stay at home and don't vote are just generally regarded both by the politicians and the general population as a whole as simply being too lazy to vote. Which is just, in my unhumble opinion, usually not the case. It's more that they're simply sick tired of being pawns in a game that they know they're going to end up losing. I don't know, it looks like all the equipment is beneath me anyways, but I honestly think they feel the same way I do, where it's just, it doesn't matter who I vote for. They're all incompetent or what have you, but the thing is, if you stay at home and not vote, people are going to think you're lazy. So I want to spoil my ballot, so at least it's on record. I'm not lazy. The reason I'm not voting is because they're all incompetent. Also, and this is something that I don't think is taught in schools, because I certainly don't remember it being taught when I was taking history, which is what where voting is taught in school in high school class. If 67% of the ballot is spoiled, the election's redone. Everyone gets a brand new candidate to, every party has to put up a brand new candidate. The election's redone. And it pretty much means that, hey, maybe, just maybe, we as a people of this nation or this province sent a message that we're sick and tired of your games. We demand someone competent. Maybe that's the message that is sent. However, I do not know any point in not just Canadian history, democratic history, where that has ever happened. But if it does happen, I want my say in that 67%. Yeah, blazing hard liquor, you don't like it, get lost. I'm actually surprised she said a smoother, refreshing drink. Bear in mind that whiskey is my preferred, and I just don't mean bourbon, I mean whiskey as a whole. Whiskey is my preferred alcoholic beverage, but while not necessarily refreshing, I find that of all the styles of, or all the types of whiskey, bourbon's probably the most smooth. And while I do enjoy it from time to time, it's not my preferred whiskey. I like Scotch. I like rye. Not my favorite whiskey, but my favorite go-to whiskey is definitely anything by 40 Creek, saved for the spice. But I believe that 40 Creek is so good it doesn't need to be spiced. So why ruin a perfectly good whiskey by adding spices and honey to it? You know? That's my attitude when it comes to whiskey. Why ruin a perfectly good thing by adding junk to it? Same with tobacco. Why ruin a perfectly good tobacco by making it aromatic? But that's my opinion, and it is by no means an unhumble one. I'm also of the opinion that any kind of liquor, whether it's anything from whiskey, which I really like, to tequila, which I don't, but I am of the opinion that any kind of liquor, if it needs to be mixed, to be drunk, to be drinkable, yeah, I'll buy it. Mix and grab. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing the lottery, but like, if you have to mix a liquor with, say, ginger beer or cola or even orange juice with a vodka or what have you. If you need to mix it and to drink it, it's not good liquor. It's not a good drink. I drink all my liquor straight, which is why I go for the good liquor. It's why I don't go for the cheap liquor like Gibson or Canadian Club or Jameson. I don't know what it is. People will gift other people a bottle of Jameson whiskey and thinks they're doing them a good favor, but I don't like Jameson whiskey. And I am Irish too, so. But like the Irish people I know here, they don't like Jameson whiskey. They like other Irish whiskeys. Writer's Tears immediately comes to mind. And Writer's Tears is a good Irish whiskey. Significantly better than Jameson. Jameson is bad. There's something about Canadian clubs that it has this, like, it has a smell to it. A smell that honestly reminds me of Zippo lighter fluid. Now, people who drink Canadian Club swear by Canadian Club. But in my defense, people who I see drink Canadian Club don't drink it straight. So bear that in mind. Canadian Club's just bad. There are worse whiskeys, don't get me wrong. Gibson, I think, is worse than Canadian Club, but Gibson doesn't have that Zippo fluid smell to it, so I don't know. Gibson might have a less offensive aroma, but its overall drinkability is, I think, honestly worse than Canadian Club. When it comes to wine, I don't care. I like wine. I'll buy a bottle of wine and I'll have no problem drinking the bottle, but I am by no means a wine connoisseur. I can't even tell the difference between what's a red and what's a white if it were given to me blind. Like, that's how ignorant I am when it comes to wine tasting. So, yeah. I like it, but well, let me put it to you this way. If I were to go to a wine connoisseur's house, I'd fully make that person cry. Okay, I guess I'm not going in there. But yeah, I like it, but I mean, when it comes to wine, I really can't tell. Hennessy. Hennessy, I think, is renowned only by its name and its history, because I've had cheaper cognacs, I've had cheaper brandy. I think it's Remy VSOP, where I cannot taste the difference between Remy VSOP, I think that's what it's called, and Hennessy. If it were given to me blind, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Napoleon brandy, which is a significantly cheaper brandy than Hennessy. Bear in mind it's a brandy, not cognac, but I think Napoleon brandy is of superior quality to Hennessy. But for some reason, people who like Hennessy seem to love it so much that their head is shoved up their ass. Like, it's a rich man's drink. It's, like the syphilis pissing prick I used to work at loves Hennessy, says it's, what they serve on Wall Street, and all I can think of is I'm pretty sure they don't serve Hennessy at Wall Street. Yeah, for some reason I'm under the impression that a nice 24 minimum year single malt scotch that's a Wall Street drink, not fucking Hennessy. Hennessy is Hennessy is what I like to call a poor man's premium drink. Because I am under the impression that if you don't know what good liquor is, you like Hennessy simply because it's worse. It costs a lot to, it costs a lot to, buy. Yeah, that's all I'm thinking. I'm thinking people like Hennessy simply because it's worth a lot of money. Same with Corona. Corona is a terrible beer. Absolutely terrible beer. People think it's great because it's worth a premium price. And, hell, I've had beer. Keep in mind I live in Ontario, so a buck of beer is the cheapest beer you can get. But I've had buck of beers that were of superior quality to Corona, so there you go. Just because something's worth a lot of money doesn't mean it's... Just because, let me rephrase this, just because something costs a lot of money doesn't mean it's worth a lot of money. And Hennessy and Corona is not worth a lot of money. Sometimes the, like, don't get me wrong, if it's super cheap, there's probably a reason for it, but just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's of low quality, but just because chances are if it is cheap, you are probably getting what you pay for. Keep that in mind, but if it's worth a lot of money, don't think it's of premium quality. It just means it costs a lot of money. Please tell Amanda, oh, so your name is Belle, and you'll repay me somehow, okay, You know what? I think that's everybody in town. This video is over 40 minutes, so I do have stuff to edit out in the beginning. Take care, everybody, and bye.